What is well, as you can see,
just the two of us.
Yeah, we're back to our regular format here.
We can make it if we try. Just the two
of us. Thanks for logging in. See you next week.
Didn't expect that, did you? Oh, shit. Yeah, it's Friday. It's 10 o'clock. It's time to party. No, that was Wayne's World. Sorry, never mind. But we are back once again with
time. Excellent.
That's right. We are back with the Metalheads Unite podcast, Classic Edition, back with the classic format this week. After having our first trip to Italy last week with Carolina and Alessandro from Never Obey Again. That was fun. And right before the show came on the air, we lined up a guest for next week. So we were a couple minutes late because of that, because we were getting that all set up. So you got just the two of us this week. Next week we have another guest. So, but the only thing we will tell you is we won't have to change the date and time. Normal day, normal time. We have a band that doesn't have to do any of that stuff. So you guys will have to tune in to find out who. But we do have a guest for next week. So, but
or follow us on our social media, and we'll be plastering everywhere on Monday. So
yes, we will. If not sooner, I may try to work up something sooner. But yeah, over the next couple of days, we will start doing the promo for next week. We're looking forward to our next guest. So
yeah, definitely
doing some big things.
I think there's definitely a deep story with these guys, and I can't wait to hear it. Honestly,
I'm right there with you. I'm on the same page. It's going to be interesting to hear like the kind of stuff that they'll have to tell us. I think it's going to be interesting.
And if you weren't here 2 weeks ago, we had our first repeat guest on the show, Rick Jimenez from Extinction AD. And like, it's so crazy talking to Rick, because this is our third time talking to the guy, and like 3 hours every time.
Time.
Yeah, like it's no like problem. Like we probably, and like you said, he goes, "Oh man, I could go further, but I gotta go to the bathroom."
Yeah, right.
He probably would have went another hour or two, man. Like
he was knocking back water and because he had just got done with a workout. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he had to. Oh, I was about to say he had to cut it short, but I mean, you can't have a 3-hour interview and say cut it short. So I mean, it's not exactly how that shit works.
It's just amazing that you could get that much, and we're still learning stuff from the guy, which is even crazier. It's just like, not to give a lot away from the show, because I'd rather you guys watch it, but just the stereotypical things about New York that aren't true. It's just like that really what got me. I'm just like, what, really? Like, because you always hear those like stories about, people just say this or that about New York. I'm sure people say the same thing about us down in the South. But
I'm sure they do.
If you ever want to know about anything down south, I'll fucking tell you. I don't care. I don't care if it's embarrassing or if it's whatever. I'll tell you the fucking truth. Is it is what it is. So.
Well, I mean, everyone needs to own up to their shortcomings. I mean, hell, like I've said before, I'm not originally from here, but I mean, but where I'm from, we're not shit. I'm not perfect either. Michigan's not perfect. Tennessee's not perfect. New York's not perfect. There are plus and minuses to everything. So yeah, there's no place you can live that's perfect. Even if you have it, even if money is no object for you and you can live wherever you want, there's pluses and minuses to everything. So I don't
think that bothered me as much as last week. I don't know, like what we get told as Italian dishes aren't Italian dishes.
Oh, that messed me up, man.
What?
Yeah, that messed me up.
Well, I mean, that's what I love about the interviews, though, because you learn about, we're not just talking about music, we're talking about culture and stuff, in different areas, parts of the world. So it's kind of educational too. So.
Oh, absolutely, educational and informational. Yeah.
They already said if we could watch our mouth, we might get a PBS spot. So, I'm just kidding. Nobody's ever said that. Right after Sesame Street.
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter F. Every episode of the Metalheads Unite podcast is brought to you by the letter F.
Yeah, and it's not for Frank either.
No,
so,
it's not. Hell no, it's not.
It's been a couple of weeks, so
we will
try to get back into this rhythm here. So even though it's only for 1 week only right now, but that's okay.
Right.
We value our guests, on the show, so we do what we can to make those things happen.
Yeah, I just like that and we even alluded to this last week on the show. We've kind of gotten to a point now where, especially this year, where it seems like we're having a guest more often than we're having to do this, the classic format, which is fantastic.
Right.
But what I like is that we still, on occasion, have to do this like we are this week, and to me it keeps the show from stagnating, which is obviously something we do not want. So we're coming up on the last quarter of 2024. So obviously what we've been doing, we're going to keep looking for guests, and that's never going to change. We're never going to stop looking for guests. But coming up on the new year, which will be our 5th year that we've been doing this, we may have to, Jason and I will probably have to get together, and it's not our 5th anniversary, but we're going into our 5th year.
Right.
So we may have to, brainstorm a little bit and see if there's something new we can come up with for 2025. Because if you've been around, with us for any length of time, first of all, we appreciate that. But second of all, you may remember that we used to do like This Week in Metal History, and we did that like for our first, and up until this year, wasn't it?
It was like 2 years, first 2 years.
Okay, that's may have been. But we decided to kind of move away from that because
it doesn't change.
No, it doesn't change. We'll still celebrate like the anniversaries, like landmark stuff, and of course it isn't always pleasant. Ozzy's bat biting thing. Randy Rhoads dying. Lemmy passing away. Ronnie James Dio passing away. Yeah, Dime. So
the Great White Fire,
Yeah, so I mean the major events in history, we'll still talk about, but obviously not at length every year. But we decided to go ahead and kind of scrap that as a segment altogether. So what we will probably have to do for 2025 is find something new for everybody. I know we haven't done a what if in a long time. And we
were doing like show and tells there for a little bit. So
yeah, well, the good thing,
we'll do that again too.
Yeah, and well, the good thing is with September coming up, between the two of us, we got a lot of shows we're going to. We got a lot of shows we're going to this month. So yeah, we may have some stuff that we can do a show and tell for, and then we haven't done one of those things where because we have a theme of the week every week. Well, every week that we do this format. But we also haven't done a fan poll in a while as far as like what year, because we did like a year in review kind of theme of the week a couple of times. I think we've done that 2 or 3 times. We haven't done that in a while. So I mean, there's things that we've done that we can get back to. But as far as a new staple for this format, just the two of us and stuff like that, there might be something that we need to put in the works for 2025. So I mean, we've got 4 months. We got the rest of the year to kind of come up with that. So, but we don't want anything to get stale for anybody. So that's why I like the fact that even if we do have a guest every week, they're not always from the same place. And the way we do it, it's always a new band. Not a brand new band, just formed that week, but another one of those things that you guys probably know if you've been around us for any length of time. What we do is we interview the up and comers, the guys and guys and girls, as Carolina was an example of last week, who are trying to make a name for themselves. So that's what we do. So we're always the guests that we have come on. I mean, unless it's Rick or John, the guys who have come on more than once. We're trying to get to know them, their music, them as people, and like Jason said, their culture. We learned some things about Italy last week, so it's really fun.
And we had India this year,
India, Brazil.
Brazil. So we've been to some new places and learned some new things.
Yeah.
It's cool that like I said, I'm a history buff or
Oh, history,
geography
geography.
buff
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I love those things. So
And that's
whenever
the
we're whenever we're in those places, it's cool to hear like
yeah.
how the scene is there because we don't know because we're not there.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild how just like last week they were talking about Italy's not really a big metal scene. You're like what wow, what
Yeah.
like because I mean we know a lot of bands that come from Italy, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
wow, that's crazy. And I didn't get to ask, but I almost think that maybe because they were saying Lacuna Coil don't really tour there, so I was like, well, maybe that's why, is because they feel like they were, deterred from doing what they wanted to do. And they're just like, fuck you, I'm not coming back to give you any of our money. And then it's like,
Right. Yeah.
we're not gonna bring money to you then.
Yeah. Time or money. I mean, we're not. I mean, if no one's gonna, even if a name band like Lacuna Coil can't really draw, then there's no point in them wasting their time. There would
Right.
be really no point in a band trying to find their niche like Never Obey Again to stay in Italy if them driving up to France or Germany or wherever, because they even mentioned trying to get into Germany. They've even Alessandro said they've been all over the world already. So if they've got established fan bases in other countries and their home country doesn't really make any sense for them to do that from a fan base or monetary standpoint, then yeah, go other places. You got to go where the fans are. You have to. It's just kind of strange that your home country doesn't support you or your art. It's just kind of strange. But the cool thing is, like you just mentioned, our last three guests have been first timers for us.
Right.
Italy, India, and South America. We hadn't been to any of those places yet. So the last 3 weeks, we've gone to brand new parts of the world, which still boggles my mind that we're talking to people. It's still to this day boggles my mind. We're getting people from other countries. God knows how far away some of these people are, and they're just like, "Yeah, we'll come on the show, shoot the shit. It's fine." It's still crazy to me that we're.
I'll be honest, I go out of my way to get those bands too if I can. So just because of that, it's because I mean, if if you look and a lot of times I'll look on there and see if these people, see if these guys and girls have done interviews and stuff like this. I think they, Never Obey Again just did an interview after ours. I think a couple days later. So
I think they did.
So it's pretty cool that they're making their rounds and getting their name out there. That's the main thing is you have to. A lot of times when you're in that, what he said DIY, then you got to self promote. So I mean,
yeah,
and they're definitely doing their part for that.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Never Obey Again, and I hope I'm not going to get anybody in trouble with this, but we in our email, and we mentioned this on the show last week. Well, we kind of did. We mentioned Angelo at the label because he was the one who sent the press kit through and everything else, and that's how we first learned about Never Obey Again. What you and I didn't know at the time, because you and I were talking about this, what we didn't know at the time was not only did Angelo send us the new single and the press kit and everything, we got to listen to the entire brand new album a month and a half ahead of time.
Yeah.
And
I'm just gonna say, man, I think everybody's gonna be pretty impressed.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. But on top of everything else that we've gotten to do, like I say, talking to people in Italy, India, South America, excuse me, labels are finding us now.
Mm-hmm.
And not only are they and which is nuts in and of itself, but not only are they finding us, like I said, we got a 45-day, give or take a day. We got like a 45-day jump on the new album. And like I say, I hope I'm not getting anybody in trouble because I don't really know if it's kind of one of those things, but I think I think like news outlets, I mean, I think they do get sneak peeks into this kind of thing. So I hope I'm not like, I don't think I'm like divulging any industry secrets, but I don't want, I don't want anybody to like get pissed off that we've heard it. But I mean, we're not going to.
I've got friends of mine in like the movie business. I got a buddy of mine that does. His name's Rudy. He does movie reviews.
Yeah,
I see him doing movies a lot. That I'm just saying, how the fuck's he getting to watch that already? It's like because he's he's in that kind of field. So
yes, I mean we're not. We know that it's one of those things that they're trusting us with. They're wanting us to hear it. I mean.
Well, I think we can talk about it. I just don't think we're allowed to share it.
And we won't.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah, and we won't.
As long as you're not sharing anything, I think you're fine.
Right, and we're not going to do that. And if I comb through the rest of our emails, I don't think that's the only album that we've gotten.
It's not.
I'm gonna have to look through and see what other albums have come through.
So there's at least 3 in there. I know. So,
yeah,
and then we just got another email today from them, so I'm not sure if that's another album or
right.
So yeah, but hey, Scarlet Records is full of talented bands.
Yeah, and they seem to.
And actually, I want to talk about another record label in my album review that I think has got a lot of great up and coming bands too. So.
Okay, cool. But yeah, Scarlet Records seems to really be taking care of their artists. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. Aloha, Amy. I was actually thinking about at some point reaching out to the label and see if somebody from the label wants to come on and talk to us, because we haven't talked to anybody from the label yet.
Well, we talked to oh man, what was his name? Damn, I went blank. At the Rocket Pie, we talked to
Bob Chiappardi.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to him, but that's true. But
I would still love to get that guy back on the show at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, how long did we get with him? I mean, it was
it wasn't
just
that's why I would love to get him back on to go through, a little bit deeper with some of, because I mean it's the guy that's worked with Megadeth and Pantera,
right?
He's worked with some of the metal greats,
right? Yeah.
Some of the stories is pretty wild too.
The one story we did get, yeah. But I forgot about Bob, because I mean we only had 15 minutes, 20. So
yeah. So it's
so I mean it would be cool to get him back on, but I mean as far as these labels like Affiant Records with Ashes Rain and all them, we follow them, they follow us. Mm-hmm. So Scarlet Records, I mean they've been, like I say, they've been sending us stuff, and it's super cool of them to do that. They trust us to do that, and we will not be sharing any of that information beforehand. But the new Never Obey Again, I think people are gonna like it. I listened to it twice. I thought it was fantastic. I think it's really good. So it's cool that that's another perk that we're starting to see, instead of
I had John O'Connor sending me demos. It's like,
right?
They're not even mastered. He's just like, hey man, what you think about this?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, because I mean it's just cool that you have people like that value our opinion on things.
Yeah, right.
And it's cool. I haven't heard anything. And luckily for us, I haven't heard anything where I'm like, I don't care.
Right. Well,
luckily I've not heard anything like that, because I don't know how. The negative. I think the negative feedback's harder to give than the positive. Because you're just like,
right. Because I
want to like it.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like when we get to our review segment, because I mean, we're not gonna like every album that we hear, of course. I mean, just law of averages, and just by sheer volume of the stuff we listen to. And trust me, the amount of stuff we do listen to is nowhere near the amount of stuff that's available to us. I mean, I'm sure you guys all know that, but not everything's going to be a 4.5, 5 horn album. Sometimes you're going to run into stuff that you're like, ooh, that was a whiff. But that's the thing is, I mean, what might be a 1.5 or 2 horn for us, someone's going to think is a 4 horn. And that's the good thing about it, but it still feels it still kind of sucks to be on here on our show and be like, yeah, I didn't really like this one. Cause I mean, it happens. I mean, you can, but that's the thing. You can pick any band, whether it's Eyes of the Living, whether it's Ashes Rain, whether it's Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, Slayer. No band bats 1,000. No band bats 1,000. It just doesn't happen, So we're not. I mean, we give a less than favorable review. We're not trying to be assholes about it. It's just we listen to something once, maybe twice on release day, and then that night we're like, this is what we thought about it. And so I mean that's what we're trying to do. I mean, so. But it's one of those one man's trash is another man's treasure. So somebody's 4-horn is going to be somebody's 2-horn and vice versa. I mean, it's just how it goes.
And you brought up Ashes Rain. I don't know if you've gotten this in any of your tour dates or anything, but they are making a tour through here in November, which is pretty cool. And I want to give a shout out to Dana Horn, our good friend over at Metal and Tats.
That's right.
Helped hook them up with a couple of openers for the Nashville show, I believe. So I'm not sure. Maybe did the Murfreesboro and the Nashville show.
I think he said he got an opener for both. So
did he? Okay, cool.
I think
cool.
so.
I say even the better, even better. So.
Yeah. So I think he got them both taken care of. So they're going to. I can't remember what the dates are for the entire tour, but I know that they're going to be.
It's the 4th.
The fourth and fifth, they're going to be in the mid state. Yeah.
And then I think he said the 7th and 8th are in Texas. So
okay.
I think he was just trying to get a couple of shows on the way.
Yeah, we will see if we can get with Vinny and nail all that down, and we'll add that too because I don't have the tour in its entirety. All I knew is they were trying to figure out a couple of dates here, and when they nailed the dates down, trying to figure out who they could get to come play with them. And now that we have that figured out, we'll see if we can get the dates for the entire tour, so we can put that on the Hitting the Road segment, and we'll post it on Facebook and everything else like we normally do. But I'm super excited to. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go to yet, the Nashville or Murfreesboro one, but I won't be able to go to both. But
right.
So I'll have to figure out which one I'm go to. Probably whichever one you go to. I'll probably just go to the same one. But it'll be.
I'll probably try to go to that Murfreesboro one because I think it'll be a smaller venue and it's going to be harder to get people into there. Nashville, you got people walking the streets that walk into that.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So
plus being working up there for so long, I know a shit ton of people there. So
yeah.
Hopefully I can drag at least 20 or 30 people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But it'll be super cool to finally meet Vinny and the guys in person.
Yeah. Yeah, be cool. Hopefully we'll get to maybe we can exchange some merch with them or something.
Oh, that'd be cool as hell. Hell, get him to sign my hat or my shirt or something.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Do a little bit of it. But I also wanted to give a quick shout out that how long have we been on our own? How long did we break away from Has it been over? It's been a year and a half. Was it 2023 when we did that?
Yes, it was.
So
it was right after
the podcast. That's right.
Right after the expo. So yeah.
Expo. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it's been a year and a half ish.
So that's even like better for me from what I'm about to say. I wanted to say we broke 1,000 views on YouTube, which doesn't seem like crazy to a lot of people, but to me, that's pretty awesome. I mean, like, because that's when we actually created that channel was after that. Mm-hmm. So you think about it, 1,000 views in a year is not, I was thinking about it and I was like, I thought about it. I was like, man, 4 years, 1,000 views, it's okay, I guess. But then I was thinking, I was like, well, wait a minute, no, we didn't create the channel until after we broke off from there. So
right, yeah.
So that's even. So I'm even like really proud of that now. So
yeah,
1,000 in a year, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I say, considering we're a DIY, podcast, just like Alessandro and Carolina and their band. So I mean, we're doing all of our own promotions and stuff like that. Any of the social media stuff. Thanks to one of my coworkers, I just figured out a new app for, building all the promos that you guys have been seeing. If you've been following everything, been trying to get some other stuff, some interactive stuff, some, polls and stuff going. So any of that stuff, I mean, that's us. That's Jason and I. I mean, what you see is, what you see here, just the two of us and all this you know,
in that little bit of free time that we have.
right, yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, so like it's crazy because I'm not complaining at all. I love this, but
No,
it's like
it's
I
not a
don't
complaint.
I don't have enough time in the day to do what I'd love to do with it. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Hmm.
like at this point I'm like, okay, I haven't put anything on the radio station this in a week. So I'm kind of like, okay, I got to do something with that.
Yeah,
So which we're doing a playlist this week. So hopefully that'll get me into the zone to do that. I'll
yeah.
put that up and then hopefully get another couple things put up. Just trying to catch up from when
Hmm.
we had the fire on our hub had got caught on fire. So
Right, yeah.
so we didn't have much. We didn't have any control over that.
Right. That's just one of those acts of God kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, so and unfortunately we had to start all the way back over with putting content back
Hmm.
on the station, mainly because the station ID changed and all that
Yep.
stuff. So it's kind
It
of
was literally a complete reset.
yeah, which hopefully you know man upstairs don't try to detour us like that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully it's like one of those double jeopardy things where you won't get hit with the same calamity
Right.
twice.
And, and then plus I've been trying to like get this t-shirt stuff set up. I'm getting,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much close to that. So hopefully, finally, after all this time, I've been
Hmm.
promised. Uh, hopefully by now I can, 2 weeks tops. Hopefully I'll have
Yeah.
a t-shirt to show off on the show here. So
Yeah.
definitely want to have it done before I go on my vacation. So that's my goal.
Well, it would be cool. It would be cool for us
I want to wear them there. That's what I
yeah,
want to do.
because we're going to Louder Than Life at the end of the month. That'd be the perfect place to wear them.
I'd love to have them done to wear there.
Because I mean, if all three of us, well,
Mhm.
hell, Kayla's even trying to go too. So I mean, hell, if we could get all four of us, people will be like, "What the?" If four people are wearing the same shirt, people are like, "What the hell is that?" So I mean, especially with the several thousand people who are going to be at that. Who are going to be at the fairgrounds in Louisville, especially on the day we're going because of why we're going. I mean,
Right.
I can't guarantee you that that's going to be the day that has the highest attendance, but it's going to be a massive festival. So I mean, there are going to be a lot of eyeballs there regardless. So I mean,
well, I mean, I think that's one of the best best full lineup days anyway.
from top to bottom, I
we
think
were
so.
looking at it, I was like, damn, like, oh, and it was almost one of those things where like, oh, they're going to be there. Oh, they're going to be there.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's like it's just at that point, it's almost like who isn't going to be there. So
kind of. Because I mean, even down at the bottom of the lineup, early the bands that are going to be there early in the day who probably only have like 30-minute sets or whatever. There's a couple and was like, man, I'd really like to see them. So I mean, it's not just a top end loaded lineup. I mean, there's quality from start to finish, which is good because that's obviously what you want. But it's gonna be it's gonna be fun, but obviously the highlight is gonna be Slayer. I mean, no two ways about it. I mean, just
you got Slayer and Till Lindemann there. That's pretty awesome.
And Anthrax. Those are the three at the top of the bill for Friday when we're going. So
crazy.
Seven Dust, Fozzy. I don't have the lineup in front of me, but
in this moment,
Clutch, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not a huge Whitechapel is earlier in the day. Lorna Shore is earlier in the day. So I'm not a huge fan of them either. Kayla likes Lorna Shore, but so I mean, there's going to be definitely a little bit of something for everybody. And like I say, it's the names that people know. They're not like all at night and everybody else during the day is going to be like a bunch of newbies or anything like that. They've got it pretty well balanced from morning to night.
Like I like going to that one because most of the time if you have an overlap, it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So
and that's what I've always loved about the DWP festivals. They usually kind of help you with that where you don't miss a whole like set of somebody.
Yeah. Evening, Dana. Welcome in.
Hey, Dana. Yeah.
What's happening, man?
Just got through talking about you, man.
Yeah.
Come into it, so.
Yeah. Funny thing is, we're 30 minutes into this thing. We actually haven't technically even started the show yet. We haven't even started the show yet.
we're out giving our thanks and props to everybody. So
yeah, we're just kind of
we're in humble mode right now. It's like, I guess.
Yeah, humble and grateful and all that shit. Still kind of and just kind of blown away, really. Mm-hmm. So,
Dana, since you're on here, I was just going to thank you personally for helping out the Ashes Dream with
absolutely
getting some headline or getting some openers. I'm going to say headliners, getting some openers for them. So it's pretty awesome. And of course, they joined Metal and Tats too. So they're intertwined now.
Whether like it or yep. I mean, between them, between Dana and us, and so it's just like a little kind of triumvirate we got going on here now. So,
all right, I'm gonna kick off some birthdays. See if I remember how to do this part. That's birthdays from August the 24th until today, August 30th. August 24th, we had Michael DeRozier.
You don't remember how to do it?
No, I don't. It's an American name, and I still can't pronounce it. So DeRozier, drummer for Heart from 76 to 82. He had John Bush, vocalist for Armored Saint from 82 to present. And, of course, he did a stint with Anthrax from 92 to 05 and then again in 2010. We had Andrea Kisser, guitarist for Sepultura. Thomas Wilkin, guitarist for 0 Hour. August 25th was the big day. We had Gene Simmons, bassist for Kiss. Rob Halford, vocalist and songwriter for Judas Priest, which I got to mention something about them in just a minute. Mazzy Rod, real name Clifford Lewis, guitarist for Film Patel. Vivian Campbell, guitarist for Def Leppard. And it's funny because I want to make sure I emphasize guitarist because one of my sites that I get my stuff from for this said, "Oh, he's the vocalist." I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not."
No, he's not. No, he absolutely is not.
I was like, "Yeah, I don't ever remember Vivian Campbell."
That's a big proofreading whiff.
Yeah. Also on August 25th, we had Derek Sherinian, keyboardist for Dream Theater. Spider One, of course, vocalist for Power Man 5000, and of course, brother of Rob Zombie.
That's right.
A lot of people still trip out. Actually, I forget about that until I see his name. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
I didn't know that for the longest time. I mean, I've known it for a while now, but it took me a while to learn that. And when I first learned, I was like, get the fuck out of here. But no, yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Then we had our good friend Chris McEwen, bassist and vocalist for Hidden Intent. Then we had, all right, this is on you. You posted this. Olavi McConnon, is that right? Guitarist for Mono Amarth.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember. I know I posted it, but
yeah, I'm just making sure I was pronouncing his name right. I don't know.
Seems right.
Yeah, sounds right to me. So, August 26th, we only had one. We had Randy Wetzel, guitarist for In This Moment. August the 27th, I didn't find anything for that date. So kicking in for August the 28th, we had Jack Black, vocalist for Tenacious D, and of course, the millions of movies he's been in. Jess Margera, drummer for CKY, and then Steve Whiteman, vocalist for Kicks. August 29th, we had Tony McAlpine, guitarist and composer, and he's worked with. I could probably sit here for the next 30 minutes and name bands that guy's worked with. So
yeah.
Then Vincent Cavanaugh, guitarist for Anathema. Mark Oldon, guitarist for Salem's Child. There's one of our recently added friends to the show there. August 30th, Mick Moody, guitarist for Whitesnake from 78 to 84. Jens Ludwig, a guitarist for Ed Guy. And then Dave Otterus or Urungus Brocky, vocalist and guitarist for Gwar. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2014.
That's right.
So that was all the birthdays that I had. I don't know if I missed anybody, but
not as far as I know.
That's what I had. So,
all right.
Happy birthday to those folks. And if anybody out there had a birthday, happy birthday to you. And before we get into the metal news of the week, I had something I wanted to talk about. So I don't know if you've seen this, but the Incarceration Festival had a little hiccup in charging people. So Evidently,
No, I didn't see that.
so the last day of the festival, evidently the internet was down, so they couldn't run. The cards weren't going through. The people were swiping them, but it wasn't going all the way through. So
Okay.
so people were not, so they just, I guess they just couldn't pay. They were just like, well, we'll figure it out when the system comes back up or whatever.
Couldn't
So
pay for couldn't pay for what? Like anything?
yeah, like anything, like all the vendors, the Wi-Fi was down in the area.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
so it was still taking the payment, but it wasn't like completing the payment. See what I'm saying? So like it was
Okay.
like you could tap it and it would be like, spinning or whatever, but it just never would complete. And they
Okay.
were just like, well, whatever, it's, if you tapped it, it's there. That's what they tried to tell them. So if you tapped it, it's there. Don't worry about it. So they gave them their product and they went on. So a month later,
A month later.
they plug it in for Rocklahoma, right? So they plug in all the vendors are plugging all their stuff back in, and then everything starts going through because they have a Wi-Fi signal, right?
Oh no.
So everybody's bitching about, oh man, you negative my account and all this shit, and blah, I'm gonna put a fraud charge. I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. First off, you can't put a fraud charge on something that you got goods for, dude. Like that's not how that works.
Right. Yeah.
And then like people were like, to me though, if you're going to these things and you're not keeping up with what you're spending, then that's on you. I mean, that's not that's not their job to keep up with your bank account. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
I get it. It's frustrating. I do. I get it.
yeah.
But so this was talking about this too when I was talking to Susie about it. I said, I don't think any of these people would know what a check ledger was if you gave it to them.
I don't think they would either.
But I mean, that's a perfect time that would come in handy though, because you're like, okay, I know the bank says I had this much money, but I know I don't. So it's kind of like one of those things where, hopefully because DWP festivals are cashless, so hopefully going forward that may change his mind with doing that, because I mean this could give him some bad publicity. So
yeah. Well,
you can't. That's the thing, Dana. They don't take cash there. They only take cash for parking, and that's it.
So. I don't agree with that at all. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't carry. I would prefer to carry cash. I know it's not safe. I know it's not safe to carry cash, but I dealt in cash for the longest time, and now I have, and I used to actually have a checkbook, and everything I spent, even like if I went to the damn store and spent like $1.50 on a drink, $1.50 at the gas station. So I always kept track of everything, and I still do now, but now I have banking apps and everything else.
Right.
I mean, but I used to have a handwritten checkbook and everything else. That way, like you say, you write it down, that it's technically gone. I mean, obviously the payment has to clear and everything, but if you write it down and you update your balance by hand, all right, that $1.50 is basically gone. It's just, once everything takes, effect. But I wish I know a lot of people are like going the opposite direction, going cashless. I kind of wish shit would kind of go back the other way. But the messed up thing is I don't trust. I don't have a whole lot of trust in humanity right now because I definitely don't want to walk around with my freshly cashed paycheck every other week and have that whole thing in my pocket, because I don't trust people as a whole, so I get it. It's easier, especially at an event that big. I get it. But at the same time, I would rather just give you a 20, you give me the shirt or whatever it is, So, I mean,
I think you should have the option.
You should definitely have the option.
That's just my opinion. You should have.
Yeah, you should absolutely have the option. I don't agree with any venue going completely cashless at all. I use my debit card plenty of times. I use it every day. So it's not like I'm advocating for those going away. I know that's not fucking happening. That's like an old man yelling at clouds kind of thing. But Jesus Christ. Yeah, I wish you could at least pay with cash, especially at like merch and food and everything else. I mean, so
what you're saying is you keep it above the waist. Gotcha.
I don't think that's the implication he's trying to make.
Oh, gotcha.
It's in a wallet. It's in a wallet.
It's in a wallet.
It's in a wallet.
Yeah.
Just let everybody else ruminate on what that means.
Well, I mean, I keep a box of gloves in my truck.
There you go.
Cavity search.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. Moving on.
I just warn you. I wear a 13 ring. It might not be pleasant. So.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I always make the joke. It's like, did you ever want to be a doctor or anything? I said, yeah, I wanted to be a gynecologist, but I realized how big my fingers were, and I don't feel like getting cummed on all the time. So,
occupational hazard, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so gonna move on to the metal news of the week, and I've had, obviously we were in preparation last week for doing this, and then the interview with Never Obey Again kind of materialized rather quickly. So some of this is holdover because I had already started preparing for a show, so I was like, well, there's no reason to get rid of all the work I've already done. So some of this is a little dated, but nonetheless, it's important. So I kept it, and we're going to talk about it. So fortunately, we're going to, bring the mood of the show down for a little bit. We hate to do it, but, such is life. So starting off this week over at the PRP.com, Darren Beck, vocalist, keyboardist for avant-garde metal duo Pinkish Black and More, has passed away. Relapse Records shared the news of his passing on August 23rd via social media. That statement can be read below, or I will read it to you right now. Quote, we at Relapse Records are saddened by the loss of Darren Beck of Pinkish Black and Zombie and Friends from a medical illness. Darren was a kind, tremendously funny, and gentle soul that made some of the most creative and compelling music ever released on Relapse Records. Our hearts go out to his partner Lisa, mom Debbie, bandmate John, and everyone else that was lucky enough to cross paths with him, end quote. So that was short and sweet and to the point on that one. I tell you what, Jason, none of these are super duper long.
So you just want to get all the bad news out of the way.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. I'll just knock these out. Also over the PRP, all three of these are. 100 Demons vocalist Peter Morrissey shared the sad news on Instagram on August 20th of the death of the band's bassist Eric Barrett. Morrissey had the following to say of his fallen bandmate, quote, when I received the news yesterday, it felt as if all time came to a standstill. It was the last thing I was expecting to hear, especially just a couple of days after losing a mutual friend of ours. I'm posting this to let you all know that Eric Barrett has left this world, and we are all devastated. A true friend, brother, and bandmate gone in the blink of an eye. We had some big things in the works this year, my friend. I was so happy you were back in the band playing with us again. I wish I knew what was going on in your head. I know I could have made a difference. You left behind so many people who loved you. Your family, your friends, your girlfriend, and bandmates are in shock. I haven't slept all night because my mind was flooded with every memory of our history together. We would have done anything and everything for you. We will always love you, Eric. So that one was a little interesting to me because the tone of the post was, and I don't know the cause of death. I'm not speculating, but just based on the tone, so I'm not going to say what it sounds like, but it sounds like he may have had a hand in his own death. So I don't know. And yeah, real quick, rest in peace, Jack Russell of Great White. Absolutely. We did talk about that before the show, the week that we found out about it. Died at 63. I think it was Lewy body dementia, I think is what they diagnosed him with.
Yeah, it was a strange version
of dementia. So he was struggling with that. So that was the main contributor to his passing away. And he passed away on the 15th. He was 63 years old. So my third death notice here, also at the PRP, Ulver have announced the passing of their keyboardist, Torre Ilwizaker. I hope I said that right. The latter musician joined up with the outfit back in 1998 and remained a member until his untimely passing. The statement shared on social media on August 19th by the band reads as follows, quote, it is with black holes in our hearts we have to inform you that our brother for over nearly 30 years, that's not how you say that, Torre Ilwizaker, Ilvizaker. Yeah, there we go. Ilvizaker is dead. He passed on in the night of 16 August, his 54th, died on his birthday. That sucks. His 54th birthday. It is all too much to take in at the moment. We will return as soon as we have collected ourselves. Rest in peace, dearest friend. We love you forever. Over. End quote. So yeah, not exactly 100% sure what happened there either. Sounds like he may have just passed away in his sleep, which is the best way to go, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, so like I say, those three stories about those gentlemen passing away, they're a little more than a week old, but wanted to make sure that we talked about those. So
yeah, I mean that's gonna, we'll have the in memoriam at the end of the year, so we'll have,
yes,
we'll have
currently we are. And
I'm sure it's probably a big list at this point.
Well, the funny thing is I don't have the 2023 one pulled up in front of me. So I don't remember where we got to last year, but we are currently, as of today, we are up to 33 so far.
I mean, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
No, it's not too bad actually. So
I was actually expecting you to say something like 50 something.
No, but
I mean, that's good. I mean, we don't need any
no,
more than,
yeah, we're not. I mean, it's just surprising as all, but
yeah.
But yeah,
everything that's went on in the world the past few years, yeah, it's very
yeah.
All right, my first one is over from Metal Hammer. Horns Up Games, founded by Sabaton bassist and manager Par Sundstrom, have announced a metal festival themed video game called Lords of Metal. The new title is expected to be released on Steam in 2027, with console releases to follow. Promoted as a single player, story driven heavy metal music festival management simulator, the game will see the players start small and go big, organizing concerts and festivals, bringing life and colors to a dystopian, bleak world. You can back the project by heading to its official Kickstarter page. Sundstrom, Horns Up Games CEO, comments, quote, for the past 25 years of my life, as past 25 years, sorry, my life has revolved around the music industry, playing live shows, managing a band, performing at and organizing festivals. I wanted to make an exciting single player game that I myself wanted to play, not some mobile game with tons of in-app purchases and no gimmicks. So join us on this adventure and support us on Kickstarter. Quote, Lords of Metal creative director Alexei Morozov adds, quote, Lords of Metal is a story-driven music festival management sim being developed for PC and consoles. We're building our game in Unreal Engine 5 to ensure the best in-class visual experience for our players. End quote. Or actually, he continues, quote, sorry. As avid gamers with decades of experience, we appreciate it when we know exactly what we're getting. That's why from the very start, we decided that we're going to deliver the game as a single player box product, no in-game purchases, no game as a service mechanics and tricks. Is in Lord of Metal, you get a glimpse of what's going on under the hood of festivals and find out what's happening backstage, on and off site of the festival grounds. Quote. At time of publication, the Lords of Metal Kickstarter has far exceeded its original target. The project has raised 56,852 pounds, which the original goal being just under 19,000 pounds. So they're off to a good start. Looks
There
like.
you go. Yeah, almost triple what they wanted. Yeah.
Actually, that sounds like an awesome fucking game, dude.
It does sound cool.
I would love to, because I mean, it's kind of a kind of a play and build too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
kind of build and play as you go, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever seen anything that's been created using that Unreal Engine. I don't know if you've ever seen.
I don't think
Holy
so.
shit! It's not just a clever name. It's not just a clever name. Unreal Engine. One of my coworkers, well, actually, a couple of my coworkers are pretty avid gamers, and I don't play video games almost at all anymore, just because I don't have the time. But a couple of my coworkers have shown me some like work in progress game development for certain things, and that Unreal Engine, it's insane what they're able to do in that. I mean, I don't know how it translates to actual video game play because, like I say, I don't play games or anything. But if what I've seen from other applications translates to what they're trying to do, and if it works and looks the way some of the stuff I've seen looks, it's gonna be outstanding.
Yeah, it's kind of curious how it all, how it all going to play out. I would love to give it a shot for sure. So.
Yeah, I think that one would definitely be fun, because then we could start our own festival and like take everybody's money.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is just like real life.
Then I can like start a festival and then cancel it halfway through and not give you your money back.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Art imitates life. Hell yeah.
That's right.
All right. Staying over at the PRP for one more. The doors have been closed at Brooklyn's bastion of all things metal and hardcore, the St. Vitus Bar. Founders for the establishment announced the apparent permanent closure on social media on August 17th, stating, quote, 1120 Manhattan Avenue, 2011 to 2024. St. Vitus Bar to be continued. Thank you to everyone who was a part of it. Love and hails Artie, George, and David, end quote. The long-running establishment had been temporarily closed since February of this year when the New York City Department of Buildings shut the club down during a set from Mindforce. They could have waited till the show was over. That temporary closure was enforced after the venue allegedly violated several building codes. Among the violations cited as the reason for the closure were lack of maximum occupancy signs, allegedly repeatedly going over their allotted maximum capacity, and operating as an eating and drinking establishment without the proper certification to do so. The GoFundMe campaign was launched to aid staff affected by the closure soon afterwards, with St. Vitus pivoting to helping promote events at other venues in the Brooklyn, New York area at the time since. The below social media post from the establishment finds a wealth of established metal musicians lamenting the closure of the venue in the comments, including Anthrax's Scott Ian, Suicidal Tendencies' Jay Weinberg, Origin Chemist, and many more. As hinted at in the venue's post, however, it would appear there is still a potential future for the brand and venue. And obviously, if we find out, I have heard that they are still doing things in New York. I don't know where, but apparently, the St. Vitus Bar in its current location, like I said in the original Instagram post, they shut that place down. So I think they might be in the process of finding another brick and mortar place to call home, but I still think they're out there like working in the local scene and promoting and everything else. So I don't think it's going to be gone forever. Hopefully, maybe the next venue they find will be bigger. That way, we don't have to deal with that shit anymore. So, of course, if you've been at the same time, if you have been violating the rules, I mean, find a new place and get your shit together and do it right. That way you don't have to, get all your paperwork and all your licenses and everything. That way you don't have to go worry about that shit. I mean, just jump through the hoops. It sucks to have to do that and all the jumping through the hoops and the red tape and everything. But I mean, if it keeps the doors open, just do it, man.
Sounds like we had Rick on 2 weeks too early. We could ask him about it.
Right.
All right. I'm staying over at Metal Hammer for this one. At least 30 notable metalcore and deathcore bands, including While She Sleeps, Bury Tomorrow, Fit for an Autopsy, That Artist Murder, and Currents, have had fake songs published on their Spotify accounts. The false uploads were spotted by X, formerly Twitter, users earlier this week and have affected dozens of artists. All the tracks appear with similarly styled black and white artwork, which seems to be AI generated. One of the bands affected, German metalcore act Caliban, publicly commented on their profile falling victim to the unauthorized upload and claimed that the music is also AI generated. Dear fans, they started via the PRP. Hey, look at there. I don't know if I've ever had that happen before as well. PRP is the first to the gun. Okay. A song has been released via our Spotify artist profile that is not ours. A fraudulent artist posting as Caliban has uploaded an AI-generated song via a dubious distributor that is now scheduled for release. Caliban is not affiliated with this release. The band continued, we and our team are working on resolving this issue. This appears to have occurred with various bands throughout the scene at this time, and its labels and managements are committed to rectifying the situation. That being said, we thank you for your ongoing support of real handcrafted music written by human beings. The similarities between the songs and their covers suggest that this mass hacking was a concentrated effort by one individual or group. However, it appears that no one has yet identified themselves as the perpetrator. Well, of course not. nor explain the intention behind the false songs. AI generated music is currently a hot button topic, as the Recording Industry Association of America, the RAA, is embroiled in a lawsuit with the music generation startup Suno and Udio. The suit, filed on behalf of record labels Warner Brothers, Sony Music Entertainment, and Universal Music, alleges that the companies are infringing copyright by using trademark songs to train their AI software. The plaintiffs are seeking up to $150,000 in damages for each infringed work. Oh my God. So,
Oof.
well, see you later, Suno and Udio.
Yeah.
That'll
Oh,
bankrupt you quick.
and I hope they lose.
So I mean, I think that the like I've said this before, I think those things can be used responsibly. If like I said earlier, I wrote songs. I can't sing. I can't play. So if I had like lyrics and I wanted to see what it sounded like if somebody sang it, then yeah, I would just throw it in there and say, hey, what would it sound like if
Mm-hmm.
if this was a metalcore song, or if this was a
Yeah.
death metal song, something like that, I can understand. But just to be doing it to to mock or duplicate another actual band,
Yeah.
that's just bullshit right there.
Yeah.
You're asking for lawsuits doing
Yeah. And humans in general can't be trusted. I mean, whoever's doing that, they're doing it with the express intent to deceive. And of course it's wrong. So I hope they lose, and I hope they lose their ass.
Speaking of that, I wanted to see if you've seen this or not. I was on Encyclopedia Metallum today, and I seen where they had posted something not long ago and said recently there has been a noticeable uptick in the number of bands being submitted to the site which have AI generated music. We
Yeah,
want
I've
to
seen that. Yeah.
make it clear that what our position is on these bands and how we plan to move forward in assessing them. It went without saying, at least up until now, that when we imagined growing the largest and most complete database of metal music, part of the vision was the uh, preservation of art and human expression through music. Until AI, that was a given. The music described on the site is in some way played, programmed, and composed by a human being. That still remains an important criteria for us, and it is our belief that AI generated music does not satisfy that requirement. With the above in mind, we won't be accepting any bands with AI generated albums, and we will scrutinize more thoroughly submissions suspected of having AI generated music. So for those users submitting bands, if you have a band suspected of having AI generated music, we may call upon you to provide evidence to prove otherwise, whether it's behind the scenes material, statements from the band or its label, evidence the band played this song live, promotional material showing the band is genuine, and so on. The more evidence we have to show that such band is real and its music composed by a human being, the better. Our goal is to make this harder on you or anyone else for that matter, but we do want to stay true to our vision for this site. And I mean, I don't disagree with that. Like,
No, I'm 100% behind it.
yeah, yeah, because I mean, like we've said there's been a couple of record labels that already said, hey, we're not taking AI generated music, so don't send that shit here. And if I guess if
Good.
you're caught there, they'll cut you off the label. So
Well, I mean, as far as a record label is concerned, as far as I would look at it, I mean, that's a kind of a breach of contract. I mean,
yeah, because
that, I mean,
you're not playing the music.
I mean, you're cheating. I think it's cheating.
Oh my god, he just said that. He said that's
Well,
like
well,
it should include that damn fight for your right. uh,
yeah.
for my, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that later, but at some point, I think bands just need to realize that hey, we just don't have it anymore. So it's time to just let's write off while we're good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it sucks because I loved early Motley Crue. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
but to see like what they're doing and what they become now, it's just like man, it's heartbreaking, dude. To see,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's fair to the rest of the band if one person's causing all the uproar.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, and I mean, well,
And
you know,
John Karabi's probably laughing. Yeah.
oh, he probably is. I bet he is.
Speaking of which, she was just in Nashville. I did not know that with Ricky Rackman. Like, was it Sunday?
Oh, were they?
Yeah, like Saturday or Sunday. They were.
Oh,
They were
cool.
here in Nashville. They were here in Nashville for some benefit. I'm like, oh hell, I wish I knew that. I would.
Well, yeah. I mean, that would have been cool.
Took off work and went. So.
Yeah. All right, moving over to blabbermouth.net for my next one. Longtime Dimmu Borgir guitarist Galder, real name Thomas Rune Anderson, has announced his departure from the band. On August 18th, Galder took to his social media to write, quote, announcement, yesterday I played my last show with Dimmu Borgir. After almost 25 years of making music and playing with Dimmu Borgir, I have decided to leave the band. I have been thinking about this for years, and as many of you have been pointing out, it's time for Old Man's Child to get on stage again and finalizing the new album. I wish the best for the other members of the band moving forward, end quote. The now 47-year-old Galder played his final concert with Dimmu Borgir on August 17th as the headliner of the main stage at Dynamo Metal Fest in Eindhoven, the Netherlands. Galder is a founding member of the melodic black metal band Old Man's Child, with whom he has released 1 EP and 7 studio albums between 1994 and 2009. In a 2010 interview with Guitar Messenger, Galder stated about balancing Dimmu Borgir and Old Man's Child, quote, it's not really that abnormal to have different bands when you play in the black metal scene. Most of the musicians, they play in like 3 or 4 different bands. Dimmu is one of the biggest bands in the black metal scene, so we tour a lot. But with Old Man's Child, I don't tour so much. If I was out on the road with a band for 4 or 5 months, I wouldn't be able to do it. But since we don't tour that much, I am able to do the 2 bands. It's been working really good. No problem so far. It's been very smooth, end quote. Asked if he stepped back from Old Man's Child because Dimmu Borgir had taken up so much of his time, Galder responded, no, that's not really the reason. I feel like the 2 bands are pretty equal, so why play in 2 equal bands or release 2 similar albums? I like to focus on Dimmu Borgir right now and do my best there. Then when I have the time, I might record another album with Old Man's Child. We'll see, end quote. So that's kind of where he's at with that. But I don't see Dimmu Borgir having too much downtime from that. It doesn't say whether or not they've found a fill-in or even a replacement. So we'll see how that goes. But they are huge in that subgenre. Yeah. So there probably will be no shortage of suitors to kind of take up the, to take Galder's place. So I think they're going to be okay.
All right, my last one is over from Loudwire. This one, as it's not totally metal, it is to do with like a festival kind of like the one we have here in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I just went blank again. What's the one we have down there now?
Oh, the Tennessee Metal Devastation Fest.
Oh no, the other one that has all the different bands in Manchester.
Bonnaroo.
Yeah, Bonnaroo. So I think this festival is similar to Bonnaroo. So organizers have revealed that the 2024 edition of the Desert Days Festival will not be taking place this year after all. Jack White, Cigarettes After Sex, The Mars Volta, Liz Fair, Power Trip, The Kills, and more were on board to play the annual musical festival, which was set to take place October 10th through the 13th in Lake Paris, California. A statement posted to the festival website cited rising production costs and current volatile festival market as the reasoning for the cancellation of the event. Full statement reads as follows. We are heartbroken to announce that Desert Days, scheduled for October 10th through the 13th in Lake Paris, California, is canceled. Pass holders will be refunded and will be contacted directly via their point of purchase. As an independent festival and increasingly rare in today's festival market, Desert Days is run by a small team of people who love live music in this community. Unfortunately, due to rising production costs and the current volatile festival market, it is no longer possible to execute the weekend as planned. With each year, we do our best to serve the Desert Days community. We are always learning and working diligently to improve the experience, and we tried for everything to find a way forward. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for your support. Desert Days is more than a festival or business venture to us. The community that we cultivated together means so much to us and is the reason we continue to work to find a way to keep this beautiful thing going for many years to come. While we hit a pause for now, we will be working in the background to deliver another special experience for all of us to share in the future. So it sounds like they may have just hit a snag and they may be able to bounce back. We'll see. I think it's just going to depend on the cost of everything. I mean, we've talked about this. The cost of everything right now is ridiculous. I mean, so at some point, something's got to give. So.
Yeah, there's going to have to be some sort of reset, market correction, or something. Something's going to have to give at some point. But what I do like, and I did see this story earlier today. What I do like about it, at least they erred on the side of not pulling a Blue Ridge. You know what I mean? It's better to swallow your pride, say, time out for this year. We're just going to call this whole thing off. Go back to the drawing board and just, we'll try again next year. Because it is better than screwing the fans over. Because at least at this point, you just refund everyone's money, the people who have already bought tickets. And, they're not traveling. They're not, paying for hotels. Because, this far in advance, if someone does have hotels, they can at least cancel the hotel reservation where they don't even get dinged for that. So, yeah. So it sucks that the people who are going to go don't get to, but it's better, like I say, than trying to put something on that ends up being a train wreck or something that has to be canceled when people already show up, because that's a massive black eye.
Or if you already have plans to go there, just cancel your hotel and then, rebook it a week later and it'll be cheaper anyways.
Well, there you go. That's true.
Because I guarantee they jacked it up knowing that festival was
coming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They do that shit all the time. All right, my last one is over at metalsocks.net, and this one's crazy.
I remember you posting that.
Yeah. All right. Frontman of thrash metal / punk band Cancer Christ, Anthony Melhalf, faces a laundry list of criminal charges after going on a rampage through the area in and around Yosemite National Park in California. According to the LA Times, the series of events is as follows. He allegedly assaulted an employee at a local restaurant, led the police on a car chase, crashed the car, stole a bike, threatened workers at a nearby lodge with a knife, stripped to his underwear, tried to kidnap a store manager, stole the manager's car and started ramming it into another car on the road before crashing that car and getting apprehended. Say what you will, but this dude gets a lot done in a day. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured in the bizarre series of events. Melhalf, known in the band as quote-unquote Saint Anthony, has made a career out of mocking religion. The self-proclaimed originator of the Church of Cancer Christ, Melhalf told New Noise magazine about his effort. Quote, when you get baptized in the blood of Jesus at the Church of Cancer Christ, you're fucking saved. You can continue to go on and be a garbage person, but we're hoping through this process that you learn that love is the way and you'll change your ways. And that's why we say if you're baptized in any other church, you might as well have been baptized in shit because it's pretty worthless, end quote. Now, obviously, not everyone thinks that way, but, hey, to each their own. But now it seems that the line between satire and reality has blurred for Melhalf, as the whole escapade was said to have allegedly started when Melhalf approached a pregnant waitress, touched her stomach, and told her, quote, the spirits led me to you and your baby belongs to me, end quote. We certainly hope that Melhalf gets whatever support he needs to. Yeah, we certainly hope that Melhalf gets whatever support he needs to help him with whatever triggered this episode. That last sentence, of course, this whole story was obviously of all of those opinions were of the writer, but definitely that last sentence, we kind of hope he can figure his shit out too. So yeah. So Jeez. Yeah. So that one was wild. That's out there. So
yeah, that's a little bit. Touching somebody that you don't know for one is probably a little dangerous anyway. So
yeah. And then saying what he said, I was like, oof.
Yeah.
I guarantee that freaked her out. So it would have freaked me out too. So we're like, knock it off, guy, get off me. So
other headlines here: Sabaton will release a concert film, the tour to end all tours to theaters in October. So we'll catch it at the local theater there, maybe. I'm sure it's probably limited, but
I'm sure it probably is, but I would like to see it.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Fun fact of the day: Metallica uses or gives away 6,000 guitar picks a night. 6,000 guitar picks. That's crazy. Which I mean, I'm trying to think about how much that would be. It's probably a couple $100 for them.
But that's just a lot of picks to be throwing out.
That's a lot of picks. Yeah, it is a lot of picks. I don't know. They probably spend a lot of money on their picks. They probably get a lot
Oh,
better
they're
shit
custom
than what I
made.
got.
Yeah, custom made, graphics and everything. But
Marilyn Manson claims Evan Rachel Wood faked a letter from the FBI agent in the new legal appeal. So that thing is still going on.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that's not going
It's been
away.
it's been over a year.
I think it's going on a couple, 2 or 3
Yeah.
years at this point. It's
Crazy.
like
I
an
know
ongoing saga.
I know it seems like every time we think it's over, we get another pop up. I'm like, Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was over.
Yeah.
Uh, Death Angels Mark Asagueda says confident Kerry King's band is doing justice to the Slayer songs they are playing live. I would probably say that's a pretty good notion because I've seen them and they played Raining Blood. I thought it was great. So,
Well, when you consider that it's basically just Slayer with Mark singing.
well, yeah,
I mean,
basically,
it's 3 dudes who played in the band already anyway, and you just got Mark filling in for Tom. I mean, it's and Mark's vocal style isn't a whole lot different
it's not.
from Tom's. So I have no reason to believe that it wouldn't be, just as good. Not saying it's going to be better than Slayer, but
I didn't even realize Phil played with Slayer before. That's crazy.
Oh, I forgot about Phil Demmel. He hasn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't, but I know that Carrie and Paul. Yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, Paul and Carrie were both in the band, but I mean, Phil.
I wasn't doubting you because I know how many bands the guy's been in.
Yeah, but
that's like, well, maybe he was.
But I mean, if you're looking for a more than capable guitarist, and that's being modest, Phil Demmel's phenomenal. So,
love Phil.
Yeah.
Charlie Benante says new Anthrax album will include 3 songs that don't sound like anything we've done before. Okay, that could be good, could be scary.
Well, that is true. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anything new? I mean, we're always looking forward to anything.
Absolutely.
New. Shadows Fall have a label to release new music, so that's a positive.
Let's hope the new label is like, let's not do what you did last time.
Let's see. August Burns Red are re-recording their debut album. John 5 is not sure if Motley Crue will release a new album. It's probably, like I said, it's probably safe to ride out into the sunset while you can.
Mm-hmm.
And you've made plenty of money being Motley Crue, so I would just suck it up and ride out into the sunset.
The bad thing is the bad thing is I think Motley Crue's already said they're going to do another stadium tour.
Yeah, they did say that.
The funny thing is like even if they just even if like tomorrow they were like, yeah, we're done. Like John 5's not going to have to worry about shit. So, I mean, he can get.
no.
I mean, I'm sure he could probably go back and play with Rob Zombie, or
he
could do anything he wanted. John 5 can go anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
And play
Twisted
guitar.
Twisted Sister news. Well, what Twisted Sister news is that? I'm not. I haven't been on much today, so if it's something happened today, I'm not tracking data.
I haven't heard. I've not heard.
You can share it with us though if you want to.
That's news to me, so I'm not sure.
Hey, that's cool with me. I'll take whatever. Primal Fear recruits ex-Frozen Crown guitarist Talia Belazeka. So that's we talk about how bands aren't going to have problems filling in. Well, I mean, there's you got a band like Primal Fear that's a big band like that. Yeah. People are going to be lining up to join.
Yeah, and thankfully they're already rebuilding that lineup because
that's the second guitarist they've gotten. So
so
they announced a reunion because of an offer they couldn't refuse. Oh, sweet.
It must have been an offer they couldn't refuse because for the longest time they were like, yeah.
Oh, D was
like, no, we're done. So they must have thrown like so much fucking money at them.
Yeah. Well, if we don't catch it, Dana, you have to keep us posted because I wouldn't love to see Twisted Sister at least once.
Oh God, yeah.
Just like people talk about Wasp and stuff. I don't give a shit. I'm going to see Wasp and Armored Saint when they come.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the news here. Death of Vacation released our first studio recording in 15 years called Black Blood. So 15
Nice.
years back. So good stuff. The Linkin Park reveal is there's another countdown.
Right. Yeah.
I know if anybody's followed that, there was a lot of people upset about that shit. They were just like, all right, what happened? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
A countdown ticker, and then they got to 0 and then nothing.
I read something. that said that it got down to 0 and it started counting back up.
Yeah. I think that's what it was doing. Yeah.
And if I also saw correctly, I think something is supposed to happen this Thursday, the 5th. Yeah. I think something's supposed to happen on the 5th.
So and it's funny they got all these other bands saying, as soon as they post something, we'll post something.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Steve Harris on new Iron Maiden said there's nothing in the works, which your Iron Maiden, does it really have to be anything in the works?
No, it doesn't have to be.
You can tour on the shit you've done the last 30 or 40 years.
Last 50 years. Yeah.
50, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You could tour on all that for another 50.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Metal Injection Festival Labor Day sale. So if you're interested in going to that Metal Injection Festival, they're actually doing a Labor Day sale this weekend, so you can get discounted tickets if you're planning on going and was just waiting to hold out. Then now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also go over to Metal Injection, and they have that info over there for you. So. Samuel, frontman, confirms most of the recording for the band's next studio album is in the can. So look for some new music from them.
That's good.
Saxon's Biff Byford undergoes a procedure to treat atrial flutter. So hopefully,
I saw that. Yeah,
he recovers fine and gets back out with the band. So. Metallica's James Hetfield's in a upcoming dark western thriller called The Thicket, which is produced by Peter Dinklage. So Peter's actually in the movie too. So
okay, all right.
Kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool to see him in 6'5" James Hetfield.
Right? Yeah.
Imagine he could get on James's shoulder and get a nosebleed. So.
Probably, yeah.
Man. Slipknot's Corey Taylor says looking forward to working on new music with Eloy Casagrande. So I'm sure he is. Accepts Mark Tornillo clarifies his comments that the U.S. is not metal territory anymore. He did not mean that in a derogatory way, nor did I take it that way. I kind of took it as it's not metal territory for touring. Was the way I took it, because
that's what he was saying.
Yeah, we've heard the horror stories we're trying to tour here, especially from foreign bands. It's definitely hard to pull off. So nothing wrong with what he said.
Yeah, because they're used to touring, over there.
Yeah.
In Europe, to where even if you're in like Germany, you drive a couple hours in any direction, you could be in another country, in another big city. So you can go from country to country, to city with no problem. You come over here and you start in New York and work your way over to LA, you're talking like 2,600 miles.
Yeah, and then coming back.
And then coming back. So I mean,
you're talking about a month and a half tour at least you'd have to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure for
get enough dates.
Yeah, so I have no doubts that for a band based in a European country, it's of course all of the guys in that band in particular, they've got multiple decades on the road. So I mean, it's not like it's anything new, but still it's got to be a logistical nightmare from Europe to America, just getting here, but then trying to set up New York to Chicago to to Detroit to Dallas to any cities you want to go along the way. So
you heard Rick from Extinction AD talking about how we was giving him shit about not being down this far yet, and he's just like, I don't know why we don't get down there. He's just like, he didn't know why he didn't even know why he didn't get down here. It just didn't work out, I guess. I have no idea, but
so
he's in Indiana and Illinois. So I mean, it's not really that
close. They are getting closer slowly but surely. And I mean, I have no.
Which he said he's played Nashville before. It's just been.
Yes, I mean, I don't doubt that they'll get down here because I mean we talked about it with Vinny before, and he was like, we want to get out that way, and now
Yeah.
they're going to end up all the way in Texas, and they're just going to be able to stop
Yeah.
here on the way, or either on the way there or on the way back, regardless. So they're finally making it. They're finally making it further west. So I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and that's cool. So
Yeah.
All right, carrying on here. House of Lords announced new album Full Tilt Overdrive. I haven't heard that name since what, 92 or something. Jeez, I was like, House of Lords, really? They're around still?
Yeah.
Of course, if you hadn't looked at the new releases, DAD. I don't know if you remember that band back in the 90s too.
Vaguely.
They had a new album out, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Crazy. Testament plans to mix new album in December and January, which means we're just getting closer to New Testament music.
Sure enough.
Exodus Tom Honey says his health is doing good, so that's always good to hear.
Absolutely.
Steel Panthers Michael Starr is not interested in bearing hatchets with other musicians who hated the band.
Well,
I mean, so this is where I see this being the issue with Steel Panther. I think people mocked and teased them, and now that they made a living of doing what they were doing, they're pissed off. So people's just kind of like, man, that's fucking bullshit. Disneyland after time. I don't remember what it actually stood for. I could probably something after destruction or something. I think I don't remember. And then last but not least, Wasp played its first ever concert exactly 40 years ago on 8/28/84.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
It's a cool little history note there. So
yeah, I have
with that earlier. So
yeah, I've got a couple.
Okay,
Amon Amarth is starting to talk about their new album, saying that the process is in its infancy, and Ian Hill says that a remixed version of Judas Priest's Rock-a-Rolla is on the way because it's finally going to be getting the production it always needed, and Oz Fox believes he will be well enough to join Stryper on their 40th anniversary tour, saying that the prayers are working. So
there you go.
All good news.
Yeah, all good news. Speaking of which, I wanted to tell you that I got this thing from Hot Topic, right? This weekend, up to 70% off on Labor Day weekend sale. Guess what? One of the first shirts I seen was on there. A Jugulator shirt. Judas Priest. I was like,
really?
I was like, what? And you want to hear the kicker? The tag on it said Judas Priest.
like Judas Priest licensed?
Like it's Judas Priest licensed.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, so why can we not get music again?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little hypocritical.
You're cool with making money off the t-shirts, but not the album. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's a little hypocritical there, guys. Come on now.
Very hypocritical.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I gotta zoom in on that. Is that a Judas Priest tag? And I did. I zoomed in on it, and yeah, just pressed on there. So Judas Priest extra large. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'd like to have that shirt. That's a badass album cover.
It was not that bad. I think it was like $13 or something. So
no, that's a fucking deal right there, man.
I almost thought about buying it myself, and I'm just because
to have it,
yeah, because I mean, like you said, will we ever get the music from that without having the CD? Who knows?
That's a great question. It's an unfortunate question we have to ask because it should be available.
Yeah. All right, I guess that will lead us into hitting the road. I don't have anything other than talking about that festival. I didn't really have anything. So.
Okay. Well, like I said, I was already in progress. Well, I pulled up the wrong list. I was already in progress getting ready for a show last week. So I just kept on going I didn't stop. I just kept on going. So I have quite a bit, but
won't stop.
I can't. Yeah. So I mean, so I do have quite a bit, but I do tend to get through these relatively quickly. So I'll try to do the same thing. So hitting the road for the 17th of August through today, starting over at the PRP.com, like I always do. Falling in Reverse, Hollywood Undead, and Sleep Theory, who will not be on the last 4 dates, are going to Europe starting November 7th in Lisbon, Portugal at Sagres Campo Pequeño, finishing December 2nd in Cologne, Germany at the Palladium. Falling in Reverse has got some UK dates, with Asking Alexandria, Our Last Night, and Tech 9 showing up on the last 3 dates of the tour, starting December 4th in Manchester, England at the O2 Victoria Warehouse, finishing December 16th in Dublin, Ireland at the O2. The Devil Wears Prada, Silent Planet, See You Space Cowboy, Like Moths to Flames, and Greyhaven have a fall North American tour scheduled starting October 25th in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Intersection, finishing December 1st in Albuquerque, New Mexico at El Rey. They'll be in Nashville November 6th at Marathon Music Works. Il Nino with Tommy Vext filling in on vocals. Ectomorph and Mind Incision are going to Europe and to the UK starting, 2 days ago, August 28th in Poznan, Poland at 2 Progi, finishing September 22nd in Annaberg, Buchholz, Germany at the Alta Brewery. I think that's brewery in German. I'm not sure. Crown Magnetar.
So Tommy Vex was filling in for Il Nino?
Yep.
That's going to be weird.
Yeah, it will be weird. And I'd have to go back and look. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, obviously the vocalist has got something going on. I just can't remember what. I should have probably, made a note of that, and I didn't. But so yeah, he's going to be filling in. So that is strange. But that tour has since started a couple days ago. Okay. Like I say, some of this stuff was from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crown Magnetar, Extermination, Dismemberment, and Extortionist are going on a fall U.S. tour. Opening dates with Atoll as the openers, starting November 9th in Colorado Springs, Colorado at Black Sheep, finishing November 27th in Atlanta at the Masquerade. Then with Larcenia Row opening, starting November 29th in Nashville at the End, finishing December 17th in Kansas City at Bottleneck. Thou and Slowhole are going on a West Coast tour this fall, starting October 8th in Denton, Texas at Rubber Gloves, finishing October 24th in Arenas Valley, New Mexico at the Whiskey Creek Zocalo. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I don't know what a Zocalo is. I don't know. Anyway, but Madball, Born from Pain, Nasty, and Primitive Dread are going to Europe, starting October 5th in Haarlem, Netherlands at Rise or Die Fest, finishing October 12th in Athens, Greece at Ann Club. All Shall Perish will play their first California show in a decade at the DNA Lounge in San Francisco, California. Opening acts will be determined, and my dumbass didn't even fucking write the date down, so that's my bad. Anyway, it's going to be the first show in 10 years. Static X will play a pair of Wisconsin Death Trip 25th anniversary club shows at the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan on September 20th and 21st. Dope and Ventana to open. Of course, Dope's going to be there because fucking Edsel Dope's already going to be there. Yeah, so that one makes sense. Vended, Wrist Meat, Razor, and Lie have a tour schedule starting September 22nd in Chicago at Beat Kitchen, finishing October 16th in Denver, Colorado at the Marquee Theater. They'll be in Nashville on September 30th at the End. Wrist Meat, Razor, and Lie have some Vended tour off-date shows scheduled starting October 3rd in Dallas at the RBC, finishing October 20th in Covington, Kentucky at Madison Live. Terror, Cro-Mags, Haywire, and Hold My Own are going on a Midwest and East Coast tour in October, starting October 4th in Akron, Ohio at Musica, finishing October 10th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the First Unitarian Church. Unity, Texas, Silly Goose, Mugshot, and Soul Keeper are going on a tour this fall with lineups varying throughout the tour, starting September 28th in Louisville, Kentucky at Louder Than Life. That is Unity, Texas only. Finishing October 28th in Miami, Florida at the Headbangers Boat Fest, Unity, Texas only also. Nashville date, October 23rd at the End, and that one will be without Mugshot. Bad Wolves Pop. What's that?
You said with that. You just the way you said that, I'm just like, wait, without Mugshot. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mugshot. Bad Wolves, Pop Evil, Sierra Pilot, and Oni are going on a fall tour starting November 6th in Cincinnati at Bogarts, finishing November 30th in Lexington, Kentucky at the Manchester Music Hall. Nashville date, November 26th at the Brooklyn Bowl. Spirit Box, Periphery, and Stray from the Path are going to Europe starting February 13th in 2025. The city and venue will be determined. Finishing February 23rd in Hamburg, Germany at Gross Freiheit 36. Stray from the Path is going on some European headlining shows apart from the Spirit Box and Periphery tour, starting February 10th in Belfast, Ireland at the Mandela Hall, finishing March 2nd in Helsinki, Finland at Tavastia. Necrogoblicon and Ailstorm are going to Australia starting February 25th, 25 in Fremantle at Metropolis, finishing March 4th in Brisbane at the Princess Theatre. Dreamwell is going on a U.S. tour with Flyover States, Homewrecker, and Lacerated appearing at select dates starting November 29th in Richmond, Virginia at Cobra Cabana. That's a cool-ass name for a venue, Cobra Cabana. Love that. Finishing December 15th in Raleigh, North Carolina at King's. There are 2 Tennessee dates, November 30th in Knoxville at Remedy Coffee and December 3rd in Memphis at High Tone. Alluvial is going out in September, so that's coming up pretty quick, with Peeling Flesh, Psycho Frame, and 200 Stab Wounds appearing at select dates, starting September 18th in Atlanta at the Masquerade featuring Peeling Flesh, finishing September 28th in Cleveland, Ohio at the Roxy. I Am, Mall, and Life Cycles are going out this fall, starting October 16th in Atlanta at the Masquerade, finishing November 5th in Mesa, Arizona at the Underground. Uniform, Pharmacon, and True Body are going on a North American tour starting December 3rd in Washington, D.C. at DC9, finishing December 14th in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania at National Sokols. I don't know what that is either. Ghoul and Haggis are going on a West Coast tour this October, starting October 18th in Petaluma, California at the Phoenix Theater, finishing October 26th in Santa Cruz, California at Catalyst Atrium Matinee Show. I don't know who's going to be there that night. Maybe they're having a different concert at night because they're going to be doing a matinee show on that day. A Day to Remember, August Burns Red, and Stand Atlantic are going on a U.S. tour this fall, starting October 17th in Las Vegas at the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, finishing November 10th in Hollywood, Florida at the Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. That's a mouthful. Mayhem is going on a 40th anniversary North American tour. It's very, very short, but starting November 12th in Montreal at the Olympia, finishing November 23rd in Denver at the Ogden Theater. The Convalescents are going on a fall U.S. tour with Casket Robbery, Ignominious, Voroth, 72 Legions, Green Jelly, The Bunny the Bear, 9 Dead, and Fight From Within appearing at select dates on varying lineups. Starting September 7th in Lake Nebagamon, Wisconsin at Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest, finishing October 26th in Bedford Park, Illinois at the Hell Over Midway 2024. They'll be in Nashville on October 14th at the End with Casket Robbery and Voroth. Sepultura has announced some farewell tour Brazilian dates. November 29th in Ribeirão Preto at Alkins Hall, December 5th at Manaus at Studio 5, December 7th in São Luís at Seprama, December 12th in Salvador at Concha Acústica, and December 14th in Recife at Classic Hall. Koyo and Seacrest are going on Seacrest World, sorry. Koyo and Seacrest World are going on an Australian tour starting October 11th in Brisbane at Soapbox, finishing October 20th in Adelaide at Crown and Anchor. Cytotoxin, Cognitive, Blindfolded, and Led Into the Woods and Inoculation are going on a fall tour. Blindfolded and Led Into the Woods. Okay, that's the name of the band, Blindfolded and Led Into the Woods. That's a long band name. Anyway, starting November 8th in Philadelphia at Milk Boy, finishing November 26th in Baltimore, Maryland at Metro Gallery. Ocean Groove, Pale Dusk, and Inertia have some Australian dates set up. October 4th in Brisbane at the Triffid, October 5th in Sydney at Manning Bar, and October 6th in Melbourne at Prince Bandroom. Sparta is going on a 20th anniversary tour for their Porcelain album with Common Sage opening on select dates, starting October 4th in Denver, Colorado at HQ, finishing November 29th in El Paso, Texas at 1111. Swallow the Sun, Harakiri for the Sky, Ghost Bath, and Snakes of Russia are going on a 2025 North American tour, starting February 20th in Detroit at the Sanctuary, finishing March 15th in Chicago at Reggie's. Escuela Grind, Body Box, and Wisdom and War are going on a fall North American tour of their own, starting October 8th in Omaha, Nebraska at Reverb Lounge, finishing October 27th in Montreal, Quebec at Cabaret Fufune. Silent Planet, Like Moths to Flames, Vexed, and Avoid are going on a European tour, European and the UK tour early next year, starting July 17th in Nuremberg, Germany at Ziebau, finishing February 14th in Karlsruhe, Germany at Substage. Over at MetalSucks.net, Dying Fetus and Chelsea Grin have a European tour scheduled starting November 22nd in Cologne, Germany at Essig Fabric, finishing December 15th in Prague, Czechia at the Roxy. Chelsea Grin has some Latin American dates set up. November 8th in Bogota, Colombia at Grand Salon Correferias. November 10th, rather, in Santiago, Chile at Estadio Santa Laura. November 13th in Sao Paulo, Brazil at Hangar 110. November 15th in Buenos Aires, Argentina at Groove. And November 17th in Mexico City, Mexico at Velodrome Olímpico. Over at blabbermouth.net, Sebastian Bach has announced a fall North American tour starting October 4th in Portland, Oregon at the Hawthorne Theater, finishing November 20th in Roseville, California at Goldfield Trading Post. Then at A Heavy Metal Way of Life on Facebook, Stryker and Lutharo have a quartet of Canadian dates scheduled. September 11th in Quebec City at La Source de la Martinière. September 12th in Montreal at the Piranha Bar. September 13th in Ottawa, Ontario at Overflow Brewing Company, and September 14th in Toronto, Ontario at Lee's Place. Then Stryker, Seven Kingdoms, and Lutharo are going on a North American tour with Osiron appearing at select dates, starting November 9th in Corpus Christi, Texas at Boozer's Rock Bar, finishing December 8th in Orlando, Florida at Conduit, and last but not least, over at metalsocks.net, Whitechapel and Thy Art is Murder have a Latin American tour set up starting November 27th in Monterrey, Mexico at Cafe Iguana, finishing December 10th in Buenos Aires, Argentina at Groove. So that's hitting the road for the past 2 weeks. Thank you. No applause.
Right. I guess that will lead us into our theme of the week, which we have not done in a while. So
yes,
we got a long list of stuff we can do. So I think we're good for a while.
Yeah.
I will post this up. This is our weekly playlist of the new music that came out today. If you want to check that out over at Spotify there.
Mm-hmm.
Just look for our little logo there, and pretty much all of our playlists are there.
Yep.
Today, that is the link for 2 days releases. So, all right, we would get into our theme of the week. This week we went with do's and don'ts. There's a lot of do's and don'ts that need to be done and don't need to be done. So.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I when I was looking at this, I'm like, man, I really took the shit into this one. I was like, I know, I can come up with like 10 songs on top of my head. It says don't, but the do part kind of was a little rough in the beginning, but I got through it. So
yeah,
I wound up with 15. So
nice.
Started out with Mudvayne, Do What You Do from the new game 2008. Then I went with Nothing More, Do You Really Want It from the Stories We Tell Ourselves 2017. Then I went with Machine Head, Do or Die. That was a single in 2019. Then I went with Testaments, DNR, Do Not Resuscitate, The Gathering 1999. Then I went with Malevolence, Do or Die from Malicious Intent 2022. Then with Iron Maiden, The Evil That Men Do from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son 1988. Then I went with Killswitch Engage, I Would Do Anything from Killswitch Engage 2009. I went with Armored Saint, Do Wrong to None from Punch in the Sky 2020. Then I went with Avenged Sevenfold, Doing Time from Hail to the King 2013. All That Remains, Do Not Obey from Overcome 2008. Also went back and did another Testament song, Do or Die from The Legacy 1987. Usually don't do that, but then I went with Bark, Like Humans Do from the album Like Humans Do from 2017. Then I went with Elegant Weapons, Do or Die from Horns for a Halo 2023. Do or Die seems to be a topic on a lot of metal songs. So
yeah.
And then I went with Meshuggah, Do Not Look Down from Kolos 2012. And then last but not least, I went with Metal Church, Damned If You Do from the album Damned If You Do 2018.
Nice. Well, I will say this, the reason why we started doing this, and it was a good idea why you decided to do it this way is because we were having a lot of, there were certain weeks where, we had like 2, 3, 4, sometimes up to half a dozen of the same thing, depending on the topic. So for the first time since we started doing these opposites or whatever, we have one that we did. We both have one, and you'll see why in just a minute. Because obviously you had the do's, I have the don'ts. So I ended up with 25, and I said, "Fuck, that's enough." So yeah, so to start off, I went with "I Don't Want to Stop" by Ozzy Osbourne off Black Rain from 2007. Then
you could have went with about 20 Ozzy songs. I think these got.
I do have two.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I have two. Then I went with "These Colors Don't Run" by Iron Maiden off A Matter of Life and Death from 2006. Then I went with "Don't Do It" by Havoc off of 5 from 2020. Then I have "Yesterday Don't Mean Shit" by Pantera off Reinventing the Steel from 2000. Then I have "What Doesn't Die" because doesn't. So,
Yeah.
So I went with "What Doesn't Die" by Anthrax off of We've Come For You All from 2003. Then I went with "Execution" / Don't Save Me by Death Angel off The Dream Calls for Blood from 2013. Then I have "I Don't Care" by Sacred Reich off Heal from 1996. "Angels Don't Kill" by Children of Bodom off of Hate Crew Death Roll from 2003. "We Don't Care" by Mushroom Head off of Call of the Devil from just a couple weeks ago. Then I went with "Don't Trust Tomorrow" by Chastain off of We Bleed Metal from 2015. Then this one might get some eye rolls, but I don't care because I like it. "Tears Don't Fall" by Bullet for My Valentine off the Poison from 2005.
I love that song.
Yeah. Then "What I Don't Know" by Avatar off Hail the Apocalypse from 2014. "Don't Lose the War" by Anguish Force off of Chapter 7 from 2018. "Don't Stop the Fight" by Skullfist off Chasing the Dream from 2014. "Don't Bullshit Us" by Tankard off One Foot in the Grave from 2017. "What Doesn't Kill Me" by Ectomorph off the album of the same name from 2009. "I Don't Believe in Love" by Queensryche off of Operation Mindcrime from 1988. Then this is the double. DNR, Do Not Resuscitate, because do not is just the not contracted form of don't. So I went with that one. So the first time since we've been doing these opposite playlists, that's the first time we've had an overlap, the same a duplicate that we've been doing this whole time. So I thought that was kind of funny. Then let's see where. Oh yeah, off of The Gathering from 1999. Then "You Don't Bleed for Me" by Killswitch Engage off Disarm the Descent from 2013. "I Don't Care Anymore" by Hell Yeah, which is a cover, but it's off of Undeniable from 2016. I thought they did a good job. So I don't make a habit of including covers, but I like it, so I went with it. Then "Don't Have to Go to Texas" by FKU off the Horror and the Metal from this year. If I Don't See You This Christmas" by Royal Rage off of Conquer from 2018. New friends of ours from Brazil. "Don't Say You've Never Been Warned" by Primal Fear off Rule Breaker from 2016. The Reckoning, Don't Tread on Me by Iced Earth off The Glorious Burden from 2004. And to bookend this one with my other Ozzy song, "I Don't Know" by Ozzy Osbourne off Blizzard of Oz from 1980. So start and end with Ozzy.
What was the first one you had with Ozzy?
"I Don't Want to Stop."
You could have went "I Don't Want to Change the World."
Yep, could have.
There's a few Ozzy songs. I was thinking about that when I was doing it. I said, man, there's a lot of Ozzy songs, but don't.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I have the playlist built already. I was actually just about to send it to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take DNR off. That way, when you do yours, just add your entire list.
Okay, that's fine.
So that's fine.
It doesn't matter either way.
Yeah. Well, then I mean, this way, like you don't have to be like, well, that way we don't end up with it on there twice. So I just took it off, and then
I don't think it'll let you put it on there twice. I think it says it's already on the list if I do that. So.
Well, I mean, we don't have to. Well, now we don't have to worry about it. And then there was a song that I was doing a little bit of research on this, just screwing around with it while I was building the playlist. And at the very bottom, it gives you like a whole bunch of suggestions based on the playlist you've already built. And there was a song that I found that I really liked by a band that I've never heard of before until tonight. And it's actually for your half of the playlist. It's a song called "What Will You Do" by a band called Ancestral, and they are a thrash metal band from Brazil. Okay. So I'm going to add that. It's pretty.
I got some don'ts to add too.
Yeah, so that's totally fine. Yeah.
from the metalcore field. So
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
uh, so,
So yeah, we're gonna have 40 some. Hell, the 25, 24, 25 songs I already had was almost 2 hours. So
yeah, so definitely going to be a pretty decent playlist.
yeah,
Which is fine. This is fine with me because I like being able to put that much new music on the radio station too. So.
Hell yes.
All right, that will kick us into our album reviews this week. I went with a band called Throne. Went with Excessive Guilt is the name of the album. Throne is a 4-piece metalcore band that started in 2021 out of Sweden. Current members are Marcus Lundqvist, Lundqvist, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Vocals, Johan Lilleblad. I don't know if I said that right. Guitars and Andreas Malm guitars and Buster Odaholm on drums. So I'm not sure which one of those guys plays. I'm going to guess Andreas plays bass because usually they put the lead first. But I don't know. I don't know how they did it. It just said guitars and guitars. I'm like, well, one of them's got to be a bassist. Surely.
Yeah.
So I tell you what I found in this band, which is really surprising to me, is they have 1 million followers already.
Wow.
Yeah, on Spotify.
Good
They
for
already have
them.
1 million followers. Yeah. So I'm just like, dude, that is freaking unreal. A band that's 3 years old. I had one EP. This is the first full length, and they already have 1 million freaking people listening to them. That's crazy. So, needless to say, we'll probably be hearing about this band for a lot in the future. So,
nice.
With a following like that already, it's definitely wouldn't surprise me to be talking about this band for 20 more years. I mean, if we're able to do it 20 more years. So this is the band's debut full-length album. They released an EP, Extended Pain, in 2022. This one has 11 songs, 20 minutes, 49 seconds in length, so it's not very long. Vocally, they show off the metalcore style vocals pretty much with the screams for sure. Not a lot of cleans in here. It's mostly just screamo, I guess, throughout. So instrumentally, it was nice and heavy. A lot of fast paced, playing, and then of course pausing to present the effects that they were looking for vocally. With the pause and then and they keep back in. But everything was pretty timed out pretty good. I thought I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet, honestly. Although some of the songs could have been longer. There was one song that was only a minute long, but it did have lyrics to it. It wasn't just a.
Oh, there you go.
So I was kind of like surprised about that. I was thinking, this is gonna be like an intro, which would have been crazy at track 8, but nonetheless, they were all songs. I mean, even though some were shorter than others, but that's just my personal opinion. I like a longer song. I at least want them to be, over 2 minutes.
That would be nice.
So, but it was good for what I heard. So even in a minute or 2 minutes or whatever, it's still a good album. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4 horns, even though it was a shorter album. I still thought it did what it was intended to do.
So who was that by again?
Throne.
Okay. Oh yeah, Throne. Okay.
THROWN.
Right.
Guess I could have said that.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Enunciate a little better.
Yeah. No, that's fine. All right. So I texted you this morning about.
Yeah. And honestly, I was just like, dude, I didn't not even like tell him what I was doing. So hopefully, I don't just.
Well, I mean, it all worked out. No, I had an interesting morning because I had an album that I was going to listen to, and Heavy Music HQ had today as the release date. Encyclopedia Metallum had today as the release date. I get up this morning to eat my breakfast and everything, start to get all my shit together, and I go to pull up Spotify and I'm like, what the fuck is the album? I was like, okay, fine, not a big deal. Not the first time it's happened. I'll go to my backup album, which is by a band I've heard before, but their last album was 3 years ago, and if I remember right, I'd have to double check, but I may have actually reviewed that album too. So I was like, all right, I'll do this one as a backup just in case. My backup album wasn't there. So I was like, now what the hell do I do? So, and by this time it was time for me to go to work. It's like, all right, I need something to listen to on the way there and the way back. So what I did was I just picked one at random. And the album that I went with is the new album called Every Bridge Burning by a band called Nails, like Nails, Nails, like, so just simple, straight to the point. They are a grindcore, power violence, hardcore band formed in Oxnard, California in 2007. Their lyrical themes include anti-Christianity, death, hate, nihilism, violence, and despotism. So, just a bunch of rays of sunshine, these guys. They're a quartet currently consisting of Shelby Lermo on guitars, Todd Jones on guitars and vocals, Carlos Cruz on drums, and Andrew Solis on bass. This is their fourth album. Their debut album came out in 2010. Then they had one in 13, 16, and up till today. So they've had a little bit of a hiatus from album 3 to 4. The new album is, brace yourself, 10 tracks long, 17 minutes and 44 seconds.
Another short.
You heard that right. The longest song is the last track, and it's 3:14. So every is ridiculous. But I was like, you know what? I was literally about to walk out the door. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll listen to it. I'll be done with this before I get to work. And I was absolutely done with it before I got to work. It was definitely an up-tempo album. Super duper fast. The vocals were super duper aggressive and high pitched guttural, not those deep in your chest gutturals. The album was almost too fast to really have any structure to it. It was almost like they were just playing fast for the sake of playing fast, which is kind of a bummer. Because as the album went on, there were a couple of parts where there were some pretty decent guitar riffs, but they were just really playing everything too fast to really have any kind of, like I say, coherent structure. And I think they were just trying to play as fast as they could. And, most of the lyrics I couldn't understand, which is weird, because if those themes are your themes, you probably have some sort of message you're trying to get out, whatever message that may be. But if no one can understand what you're saying, what's the point of having, the message? But it is what it is. It was heavy. Don't get me wrong. But like I say, it was not even 18 minutes long. So I think the best I can really give this one is 3 out of 5, only because it was as heavy as it was. I think they could probably, slow it down just a tad, even if the album is like 25 minutes long. It'll sound a little more, to me, it'll sound a little more coherent, a little more polished for sure. It just sounded like they were just trying to blaze through this thing. So it kind of took away a little bit of that for me. So after that, I was like, all right, well, I guess I kind of have to see if I can get through something that I can listen to on the way home, since I blew through the first one so quickly. So what I did was I found another one, and I listened to the new album, The Chastisement of Our Peace, by a band called Lord Chain. They are a heavy metal.
That was actually one of the backups I was going to listen to. So
they are a heavy metal hard rock band out of Caruthersville, Missouri, formed in 1996 in their current incarnation. They were actually active from 1990 to 1996 as Eternity. So technically, they've been a band since 1990. Their first album didn't come out until 1997. So the first incarnation of the band didn't do anything, didn't really go anywhere. So this is their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th album. Their themes are Christianity. So as luck would have it, I guess, I got both ends of the religious spectrum, today. So wherever you fall on that, be that as it may. So I just thought that was kind of ironic. So, I had 2 other albums I was going to listen to. The 2 I ended up with are polar opposites of each other from a lyrical theme standpoint. Now, I don't usually do this, but there is one track on this album that caught me completely by surprise. Track 1 was a 30-second instrumental. It was kind of functional, so it was all spoken word. It kind of went into track 2. So it's fine. track number 3 is called Wicked Young Man. Now, keep in mind, I just said that this band's lyrical themes are Christianity. Here is the first verse of this song, and I was not expecting this at all. First verse of this song called Wicked Young Man by a Christian hard rock heavy metal band. Here we go. Cold blue swastika tattooed on my skin with ice in my veins and staples in my chin. I got it carved in my forehead, slave to my sin, too violent for the brotherhood to ever take me in. I was like, what the hell am I listening to right now? That's not even the worst. Well, it probably is the worst part, but here's another. I got a pocket full of bullets and a blueprint of the school. I'm the devil's little soldier. I'm the devil's little tool. I was like, this is a Christian band? What the fuck is going on right now? So I was not upset by it because I don't get upset about song lyrics, but I was not expecting anything like that out of this album. So that was an absolute surprise. Now, musically, this album was all over the place. I mean, it was heavy at some point. There was acoustic guitar. There was a couple of spots where I thought they were going to literally break out into Kumbaya. There were 2 songs that had flute solos. I mean, like flute that Kayla played in the high school band. There were flutes. Flute, yeah, exactly. Flute your flute, Greg. Yeah, that kind of flute. It was all over the place. So I mean, there were some heavy parts. There were some not so heavy parts. There was acoustic parts. There were flutes. I seriously thought they were, like I said, I seriously thought they were going to break out into like Campfire Song. The title track. Yeah. Hold on a second. I have the track listing right here. Where the hell did it go? The title track was track number 5. So it was, kind of right smack in the middle of the album. It was the heaviest song. Track 6, 21st Century Logic, was an interesting song also because, I mean, at one part during the song, men can become women. They can menstruate and give birth too, but men can't speak against abortion until they get pregnant like women do. That was the first verse. Second verse, a 12-year-old is too young to get a tattoo. There's no need for this to be debated, but a 12-year-old can choose to get puberty blockers and become chemically castrated. So that was kind of their take on the kind of socio-economic political climate that we find ourselves in nowadays. So again, that was another song that kind of like made me raise my eyebrows a little bit because it's just, lyrics I wasn't really expecting. So, I mean, vocally, clean all the way through. You could understand everything. This was, like I say, polar opposite of the other album. There were a couple of parts where there was like a duet with another member of the band, so he kind of got a little bit of backup from one of the other band members. So this one was today's album reviews were interesting to say the least. I was actually more surprised by the Christian album than I was the anti-Christian album. The anti-Christian album, I pretty much was everything I expected it to be, other than the fact that it was only 18 minutes long. I was not expecting the Christian album to have some of the stuff in it that it had. So that one surprised me more than the other. It was just kind of like the irony was not lost on me. That was like boom and boom. I was like way over there and way over there. So for as interesting as that other album was, I'm only going to give it about 3 horns too. There were heavy moments, but it was so intermittent. I will say one other thing about this album. There were a lot of bluesy influences and enough wah pedal to make Kirk Hammett jealous.
Oh my god, he went to wah land.
Yeah, he did. So I mean, and it's a longer album, so 10 tracks, 44 minutes. So I mean, if you want to listen to it just so you can just so you can like
Yeah,
just be like, I gotta know, kind of one of those things,
right.
So
It's like flute your flute and get your
yeah.
wah wah
So
on.
oh yeah. So yeah, definitely interesting. But yeah, but three horns for both of my albums today.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go through next week's list, or
Yeah, let's do that. Even though, like I say, we will have a guest, so we'll be doing we'll be doing write-ups, but looking forward to next Friday, September 6th, leading off with 40-Watt Sun with Little Weight, Aluk Todolo with Lux, a Mautica with Sin Alteres, Erild Broter with A Spectre of Sounds, James Bond music reimagined. That could be kind of interesting. I don't know. That could be interesting. Beautiful Loser with Stars for a Night, Black Sights with The Promised Land, Black Staff with The Storyteller, Black Sun with a self-titled album, Blitzkrieg with a self-titled album, Bloody Valkyria with Kingdom and Fire, Body Snatcher with Vile Conduct, that's an EP, Boguslaw Balsarac's Cry Lord with Endless Life, Boston Manor with Sundiver, Castle with Evil Remains, Cobermouth with Untethered, that's an EP, The Cold Stairs with The Southern, Consumer with Selim Frieden, Cult of Orpist with Attack of the Zombie Cans, Curse the Sun with Delirium, Dan Dark with Dark Avenger, Drunkel Wyson with Pioneers of Alcohol, Eccentric Pendulum with Perspectiva Invertalis, Eldamar with Astral Journeys Part 1, Creation, 2 re-releases from Elephant Tree, Habits, and Thea, and what looks like might be a new release from Elephant Tree, Handful of 10, Expiatoria with Shadows Live, Fabulae Dramatis with Violenta, Fame on Fire with The Death Card, Fast Eddie Clark with Make My Day, the rock and roll story of Fast Eddie Clark, Finish Ticket with Echo Afternoon, A Forest Mighty Black with The Hedonist, Forgotten King with The Sun, Future Palace with Distortion, Gigantum with a self-titled album, Glacier with A Distant Violent Shudder, God Dethroned with The Judas Paradox, God is an Astronaut with Embers, Grave Sermon with Liturgical Perversions, that's an EP, Grendel's Sister with Catabasis into the Abaton, Grimaze with The Heart of a Collapsing Star, Heinous Exsanguination with The Stench of Decaying Flesh, that's an EP, Hell is Real with Scared of the World, Helvetet's Port with Warlords, Ifrit with Haunting Charnel Grounds, that's an EP, Infrared with Manifestation, In Retrospect with Aggro, the mixtape, In Viscero with Italia Violenta, Jordan Rudess with Permission to Fly, Killing of a Sacred Deer with a self-titled EP, Corrosive with Catastrophic Creation, Laura Jane Grace and the Mississippi Medicals with Give an Inch, that's an EP, Lily Refrain with Live in London, Hammersmith Apollo, The Lucidia Project with Requiem, that's an EP, Malevs with The Hammer, Many Eyes with The Light Age, Martin Templum Domini with The Dark Matter, Melba Culp with A Darkened Rose, Midwife with No Depression in Heaven, Misanthropia with Envy the Dead, Moose Cult with Book of the Machines, Mr. Big with The Big Finish Live, Mutant Blast with Soul Stealer, Officium Triste with Hortus Venenum, Pat Travers? What the Pat Travers with Live and Loaded 84, Peeling Flesh with The G Code, Faith On with Wielder of the Steel, Phil Mogg with Mogg's Hotel, Pure Reason Revolution with Coming Up to Consciousness, Sanctuarium with Melted and Decomposed. You have that on the same list as something by Pat Travers, of all fucking people. Serotonin with Motive, Sidewalk Mafia with Soul Crushers, Silvern with Stardust Sermons, Solars with A Fading Future, Solitary with Embrace the Darkness, Stone Man with New, A Swarm of the Sun with An Empire, Cypress with Gold on Hold, Together to the Stars with The Fragile Silence, Tour d'Ivoire with a self-titled album. We have Two Sonar Seekin with Holdra, Uncle Dave's Biscuit Barrel with The Curse of the Thirst, that's an EP. Various Artists, Surrender to Death, A History of the Atlanta Metal Underground, Volume 1. We have Vestige with Janus, Valus with Merciful the Dying Light, Wolfheart with Draconian Darkness, and Zeit der Dunkelheit with Diletzten Taga. My German is horrible at best. So that's so all of that is going to be the list for next Friday, September 6th. And who knows if the 2 albums that I was going to review today get moved down to next Friday. I guess we'll have to see. So
Cool. Yeah. I guess that will put a pin in this one.
Yeah.
So, kind of right around the normal mark there. So.
Yeah, 2 minutes, 5 seconds. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Yeah.
Say thank you to Dana and Amy as always.
Dana and Amy, that's right.
Yeah, so
Yep.
Shout out to my wife who was liked the post. Whether she was how long she was in here, I don't know, but she was in there long. She was there long enough to like it. So
yeah. So yeah, thanks to everybody who was who we know for sure came by, and thanks to everyone who watched the show on our socials and may check this show out afterwards. Thank you to you guys too. Speaking of the socials, follow us on all of our socials, our Facebook group, Facebook page, X, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, TikTok. I think that's it. Oh, Twitch, also on Twitch. I forgot Twitch. And follow us on Spotify. Our weekly playlists and themes of the week are there. And then stream.trulyradio247.com /8008 /stream is our 24/7 live radio station. And metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com is our email address. We are easy to find.
Yep. Easy, just like your mom. I'm just kidding.
Oh, all these flavors, and you choose to be salty. Yeah.
Well, I am a cracker, so
That's right.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you once again for everybody that has supported us over on YouTube. We appreciate the, like I said, it doesn't mean much to a lot of people, but 1,000 mark in a year and a half is a pretty good big deal to me. So
yeah, no, to me too.
I didn't anticipate, putting this together and hitting 1 million, things in a year. So I mean, it's a work in progress for sure. So,
yeah, that's right.
We appreciate every little bit we get. So
exactly. I mean, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps us, and also helps the bands.
Exactly. So
mm-hmm.
Also, you want to go over to Spotify, check out our previous interviews. Like I said, the interview with Extinction AD, Rick Jimenez is up there now, and the Never Obey Again will be up probably this weekend. I'll probably get to editing that before the weekend's up, so it'll be on there. You could follow us over on Facebook and either the page or the group. It'll probably be on both. So get an update on when that stuff drops, or if you just want to follow us on Spotify and get alerts whenever we drop new stuff. So we'll tell you this on Spotify, it is only band interviews. We don't do the weekly show on there. Mainly because I feel like that's kind of redundant. But there's so many other places to watch this. So
yeah, there is.
I mean, you can still go back and watch the other stuff there too in YouTube and Rumble. I don't know. Twitch only holds it for so many days. So.
Yeah, I don't know how Twitch's database works, but yeah, I mean, everything that goes to YouTube, I mean, it's there. It's not going anywhere. So
I think they probably have a lot more usage, I guess, with gaming and stuff. So it probably takes up a lot of room. So
yeah, I think a lot of their. I think
they probably have to say, okay, you can have it for 2 weeks and then that's it.
Yeah, I think that's what takes up most of Twitch's bandwidth. I think most of it's Matt Heafy. So
probably, yeah. Yeah, but that's the reason we have Spotify and Rumble. So
that's right. We have multiple platforms for a reason. So,
and you can also follow us over on TikTok to get the the Metalhead Minutes and stuff like that. So
that's right.
Advertisements for the upcoming bands that we may interview, all that stuff should be over there too. So like I said, there's whatever app you use, you can find us on and follow us and get the updates. So.
Yep. And I am trying to like I said, the last 2-3 weeks, going on a month now, I've tried to put some more tried to be a little more active on a couple of the social media platforms to kind of, some stuff for engagement, like, who's your favorite this, who's your favorite that. So we're doing some poll stuff over there to kind of keep everybody's attention, keep some things fresh. So doing what we can.
That's all we can do. So.
That's right.
All right. So if you want to know, like I said, if you want to know the guest before next week, you can follow us over on our Facebook and Instagram. That will be posted there in our stories.
It'll be TikTok. Yep, it'll be there too.
So you can check that out, and also probably Chris will probably talk about it a little bit on TikTok too on Wednesday when he does the Metalhead Minute. Mm-hmm. So you can follow. You can get an update on what's going on before. The actual showtime. So
that's right.
But if you just want to be surprised, then just come back here next Friday.
That's true. Yeah. Some people don't like to know what their gifts are ahead of time. So
That's right. Anyway, with that being said, appreciate you guys stopping in. Hopefully you have a great weekend. Be safe out there. It is Labor Day weekend, so firing up the grill, swimming, whatever you're doing out there, just be safe doing it. So
that reminds me, I'm glad you brought that up. I'll make this as short as I can. I don't know how many of you are hockey fans out there, but I am. And Jason, you probably didn't hear this story, but I heard it this morning. There's a guy, his name's Johnny Gaudreau. He started his career out in Calgary, got signed with Columbus a few years ago. He's originally from New Jersey. He was actually back at home this weekend for his sister's wedding. Him and his brother, who was also, he's a hockey player. He's in the minors right now, so he's trying to work his way up. But Johnny and his brother, Matt, they were in New Jersey on a bike ride, and a drunk driver hit them and killed them both.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Swear to God. Johnny was 31. His brother Matt was 29. They both died at the scene. Like I say, hit on their bikes by a drunk driver. So,
so to me, anybody that's drinking and driving nowadays you should get life in prison at this point, because there's so many options out there. There's Uber, there's taxi services.
Right.
There's ways to get around without drinking and driving. Jesus Christ.
So the reason why I bring that up is because it is a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
If you guys are going to party, obviously, it's a celebration, for, everybody who does go to work every day, like Jason and I both do. Like Jason just said, there's ways to get yourself home. Don't fucking risk it. Get home safe. Don't take anybody out on your way home. Okay? Anybody who dies in a drunk driving accident, obviously it's sad, but so those two guys, they were in town for their sister's wedding. Their sister's wedding was supposed to be today. How do you think that's gonna go over?
Hopefully they postponed it or something.
Well, I'm sure they will. But like Johnny's got two kids. One of them's only 6 months old. That kid's never going to know his dad, except for, stories in YouTube at this point, all because some asshole thought he could make it home. So,
well, if you think, we talked about this whenever Jay Briscoe died, who's coming back with his daughters from a or taking them to a ballet class or back from, I don't remember, but one or the other, and then he got hit head on by somebody. I still haven't figured out if that was drinking or just not paying attention, but either way.
Right. So, so look, I can't stand that. We have ways to get people home. There is no excuse. There's no excuse. I don't care. Oh, I gotta have my car. You know what? Pick it up tomorrow. Doesn't fucking matter. There is no good reason to drive. There's no good reason to drive drunk. No good reason.
Just be like Or you can just be like me and find a friend that don't drink like Chris, and he drives me everywhere.
Right. Either and I do. I will gladly drive anyone anywhere. I've never had alcohol in my life. I will drive anyone anywhere within reason. I mean, I'm not going from state to
Well, I
state,
think
but like within reason. I mean, there is no excuse. There's no excuse for you because you're going to screw yourself over. But if you're taking people out along the way, like Jason said, bye, see you. You got to go. And I hope they throw the book at this guy.
Well, it's sad because I mean the guy drinking and driving probably had a family too that he's probably not going to see now because he's going to be
in jail.
Go to jail for something.
Yeah,
he's going to get something out of it.
So there is no excuse. I don't care if you're out on a Friday night. I don't care. Make arrangements ahead of time, or fucking get an Uber, get a Lyft, call a taxi. There's no excuse. Do not drink and drive. Don't do it ever. But because just reinforcing it because of what happened this morning with Johnny and his brother, and then just because it's a national holiday here, just don't do it. Be smart. Please be smart for your sake and everybody else's.
Yeah, we want you to stay around as long as possible.
Absolutely, for you and your family.
Without doing dumb shit.
Right. We got enough stuff. We got enough stuff that kills us as humans from one day to the next, and that's one thing that everyone can avoid. Drunk driving accidents. That's one thing that everyone can avoid. Just to avoid, So I don't want to get up on any more of a soapbox than I already have. But I mean, it was just upsetting to read this morning because I mean, not just because they're hockey players, but I mean, their dads, their brothers, their sisters, their sons, and everything. And it happens every day to famous people and not famous people like you and I. It happens every day, and there's no reason for it. So with what just happened this morning in the hockey world and what could possibly happen this weekend with the national holiday, just please, please, please use your head, get home safe. Be safe.
All right. Now that the public service announcement.
Right. Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah. Thank you guys once again. Hopefully we'll see you back here next week with a very special guest. And I think you will enjoy that. I'm looking forward to this one. I look forward to all of mine, but this one, I just feel like there's like a real deep story here, and hopefully we get the gist of everything. But I'm not sure which members are coming on or anything like that, so I'm not sure who's been affiliated with the band the longest or whatever. But there's definitely a story there I'd love to hear. So hopefully you guys will too. So next Friday, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here, and we will be back with a special guest.
The cat is the cat. Oh, wow. I tell you, man, this microphone is ridiculously sensitive. So yeah, that's a cat trying to get in the office.
I actually thought I hit something. I was like, damn it, I hit something over here.
No,
on my board. I thought I hit something on my board.
Nope. Cat at the door.
All right, guys. That being said, see you guys back here next week.
That's
Till
right.
then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you.